If you're new to this channel, I'm asking you to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it. Absolute value of 3x equal 9. These two bars that we're looking at here, they refer to the absolute value, okay? And what the absolute value is, it is actually referring to how far an idea is from zero. So 0 is our marker. And this is actually saying that, hey, the absolute value of this idea here is actually 9. So technically what it is saying is like, this is actually 9 units from 0. Because if we're on the number line, if you take a look on the other side of this, where -9 is, if we were supposed to hop from 0, it's going to take us 9 units to hop to the right, where +9 is. But at the same time, from 0, it would have taken us 9 units to hop to where -9 is. So I'm referring to taking 9 steps to the left will land us at -9. Also, 9 steps to the right, and we're referring to from 0, will land us at +9. So when we're about to evaluate this, there are two numbers that we have to take into consideration. We're going to have to take into consideration -9 and +9 because both numbers are actually 9 units away from 0. All right. So let us get into what do we do when we have this. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take the idea that is in the absolute value symbol here. We're going to take this. So it's going to be 3x. We're going to take our 3x and we're going to let 3x equal to 9. Okay. Also, we want to understand that 3x is also equal to -9 because we are looking at the fact that those are the two numbers that are 9 units from 0. And then we're going to solve them ordinarily. So looking at this one here, if we divide both sides by 3, then x is equal to 3. That's one of our solutions. From the other side here, if we divide both sides by 3 again, what we get is different. We get x is equal to -3. So what this is saying here is that if x is -3, as well as if it is +3, we'll still get the same value. Let's take a look. Let us say I replace x with +3, and then we work it out. We're going to have the absolute value of 9. And the absolute value of 9 is 9. Because the absolute value is saying what is the positive, all right? How far is this from 0? All right, so that's 9 units. Now, if I were to replace it with -3 now, so we'll put -3 here, and then we're looking at what is the absolute value of -3 times 3, -9. It is still 9. Because if we're asking how far is this from 0, it's actually 9 units from 0. So the absolute value of -9 and +9 is still 9. Okay, so we have two answers there. Let's take a look at the second question. Now, what we have here is the absolute value. And let us take a look. These are our absolute value signs. So we have the absolute value of -6m is equal to 30. Again, whenever we have these absolute value signs here, we understand that there are two values that are actually 30 units from 0, and that will be 30 and -30. So what it means, we're going to take this, which is -6m, we're going to set it equal to 30. Also, we're going to take -6m and we're going to set it equal to -30. Why? As we say, from 0, 30 units from 0 goes in two directions, +30 and negative 30. Both are 30 steps from 0. So in this case, let us solve for m. We're going to divide by negative 6. So if we divide 30 by negative 6, then m, because negative 6 cancels itself one time, so 1 times m is m, and this is equal to 30 divided by negative 6, and we're going to get negative 5. So that's one of our response at this. Now, negative 6m is equal to negative 30. Therefore, if I divide both sides by negative 6, then on my left side, negative 6 cancels itself one time. 1 times m, that's m. But negative 30 divided by negative 6 will give us 5. So this is positive 5. So we have a negative and positive 5, and these are our two answers for now. Let's take a look at another question. Now, in this question, we're looking at the absolute value of negative 4 plus 5x is equal to 16. Now, the procedure remains the same, that we're going to take this and we're going to set it equal to 16 as well as negative 16, right? So negative 4 plus 5x is equal to 16. Also, negative 4 plus 5x is equal to negative 16. I'm going to add 4 to both sides here so that I could get rid of the 4, so I could isolate my x term here. So I'm going to have to add 4 to the right side as well. And negative and a positive 4 becomes 0. So I'm left with 5x, which is to 20. Remember, my intention is that I need to find x. 5 is being multiplied by x. So what I got to do here is I have to divide both sides by 5. So 5 into itself 1. As you could see, 1 times x is x. But remember, whatever I do on one side, I have to do it to the other side. So I must divide 20 by 5. So as you know, 5 into itself is 1, and 5 into 20 is 4. So here it is that 4 is actually my first response. Now let's take a look at the second solution that we get. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides because I need to get rid of that negative 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So when a negative 4 and a positive 4 being added, we get 0. So on my left side, I'm left with 5x, which is equal to negative 16 plus 4, right? So negative 16 plus 4 is negative 12. All right. Now, what we want to do is to find x. But remember, in finding x, x is being multiplied by 5. So we have to take the inverse of that. We're going to divide both sides by 5. So 5 will cancel itself one time. We're left with x on the left side, and that is equal to negative 12 over 5. Or you could say 2, which is negative 2, and 2/5. We're looking at the absolute value of v plus 8 minus 5 is equal to 2. Now, whenever we have any absolute value question, what we want to do is to isolate the absolute value first. So in order for us to interpret what we have, we got to have this by itself. But on that same side, we're seeing that there is a 5, negative 5. So the first move is that we want to get rid of that negative 5. So we could get rid of a negative 5 by adding 5 to the left side. And then we're going to add 5 to the right side. So what we're going to do is we're going to write back our absolute value symbol. And then we're going to have v plus 8. Remember, negative 5 and positive 5 becomes 0. So on the right side, we'll have 2 plus 5, and that's going to give us 7. Now, notice that we have the absolute value of v plus 8 is equal to 7. we can now apply ourselves to it. Remember, this is saying, hey, the absolute value of some idea is 7 units from zero. And we're like, okay, 7 units from zero can be achieved two ways. One is that it is actually seven, but secondly, it is -7. So we're talking about how far is something from zero. All right. So in this case, what we're going to do here is we're going to write our two solutions that we have. So it's going to be v plus 8, and this is equal to 7. We're going to solve that. So in an effort to find our v, in our effort to find v, we're going to have to subtract 8 because we do have a plus 8 right there. All right. And then whatever you do on one side, you have to do the same thing to the other side. Now let's finalize this. V is here. +8 minus 8, that becomes a 0. And then what we do have is actually all right, so what we do have here is actually -1. So in this case, v is actually -1, and that is one of our solution. Our second solution is that v plus 8 is equal to -7. We're going to apply ourselves the same way. We're going to subtract 8 from both sides. So on the left side, -8 and +8, right, actually becomes 0. So what we have here is v, because this becomes 0, is equal to -7, -8. So -7 minus 8 will take us to -15. So we're left with -15 right here. So that's our second solution. So our two solutions are as follows. V is equal to -1, V is equal to -15. Let's take a look at the last idea here. So in this last solution, we have 3 times the absolute value of -8x plus 8 is equal to 80. Remember, the idea is this is our absolute value, okay? And on that side, we're seeing a number of things happening around our absolute value. But remember, to solve this, we have to make sure that the absolute value is isolated. So first move, I would love to get rid of this +8. So you get rid of a +8 by going the opposite. So I'm going to subtract 8 and balance the equation by subtracting 8 from the other side. So let's rewrite what we have. So now I do have 3, my absolute value of -8x, and this becomes 0. So this is equal to 72. All right, so it's equal to 72. So what we're going to do now is that we are going to have to get rid of this 3 here, because what it is doing, it's like it's multiplied to the absolute value. So we have to divide by 3 and balance by dividing the other side by 3. So as you could see, it cancels itself there. So we're going to have our absolute value of -8, and this is going to equal to +24. And that's when 3 is divided into 72. So here is the thing. Now it is that we have our case where the absolute value of -8 is equal to 24. Now, remember, there are always two solutions here. So it's like -8x is equal to 24. So we're going to divide both sides by -8. So one of our solution is that x is equal to -3. So that's one of the solution. The second solution is that -8x is equal to -24. So in this case, -8 divided by -8, that's 1 time, 1 times x, that is x. But -24 divided by -8 gives us +3. So our solutions are negative and +3. They both would have worked out these for us. Thank you for watching Daily Maths Concepts.